Since our beginning in 1995, Great River Greening has worked side by side with the community to protect Minnesota's natural areas. More than 45,000 volunteers have joined us outdoors since then, donating their time, talent, and passion to restoring healthy land and water across our state.
Volunteers are so important to Great River Greening because they help us actually get the work done of restoration of land and water. We have a lot of projects. We do thousands of acres of restoration throughout the state. And the way we get that done is we bring volunteers from the communities that we work in out onto the landscape to have an experience of doing the work.
But 2020 changed that. As COVID hit Minnesota, affecting hundreds of thousands of people, Great River Greening was forced to scale back our volunteer program. 2,500 volunteers join us outdoors each year, but that number suddenly dropped to only 400. But the work didn't stop. Climate change, disappearing pollinator habitat, and worsening water quality continued threatening our natural world.
You didn't have to get big groups of volunteers, and it was kind of small and individual. And then afterwards, they usually would have that big get together, and then they would provide the food and everything. And so you got to actually connect with people. But then during the pandemic, that wasn't really an option. And so we lost that kind of connection with people, but you still were able to forge one through masks and social distancing. But it was hard seeing people kind of disconnected from other people and what they were doing. So,
in the midst of great uncertainty and wariness, Great River Greening and our volunteers pushed forward. As we look ahead over the next year, we need your help to ramp up our volunteer program, bringing people back to nature.
The pandemic took away so much, but it didn't take away nature. And I think that getting out there was a great way for all of us to really reconnect with that.
And as we learn, grow, and adapt, Great River Greening is finding new ways to get volunteers outdoors. Take our Pollinator Central project, an initiative to add 800 acres of new pollinator habitat across Minnesota over the next 2 years. The hard work and commitment of our volunteers is essential to protecting our pollinating insects, and perhaps more urgently, our livelihood.
So in this instance, volunteers are going to really help us get out to this pollinator habitat and actually start to measure for us, literally count pollinators and say, boy, has this restoration been effective? And what's really unique about this and the way that we've adapted as a result of the pandemic is that they can do it on their own. It's a citizen science, initiative, if you will.
Technology is also a driving force in our new volunteer efforts. Over the next year, thousands of volunteers will walk our project sites, take photos of plants and wildlife, and upload those images through an app, iNaturalist. This information tells our ecologists what's working and where we need to make changes, all without staff setting foot on a project site. We don't know what tomorrow holds, but we know our future depends on the actions we take today. Inspiring environmental stewards is essential to protecting our natural world. Over the next year, Great River Greening will more than triple the number of volunteers joining us outdoors, building a community of stewards to ensure our natural legacy. With your support, we can protect Minnesota's land and water for years to come. Your gift will inspire thousands, including our next generation of stewards, to head outdoors, plant trees, protect our pollinators, and clean our lakes and rivers. Together, we'll build a cleaner, greener future.